Hey guys, it's Goldy here, and today I'm going to show you guys how to make a mov-cli plugin. So let's just play some chilled songs and let's get to it. In this tutorial, I'm going to assume that you already know some basic Python knowledge, but we'll get to it. I'm going to assume that you guys already know what mov-cli is, so I don't have to explain a lot, but mov-cli is a tool that just lets you stream essentially like whatever the hell you want. People build plugins on top of mov-cli that allow you to stream stuff from certain platforms like SoundCloud, YouTube, or maybe you have a media server. You have a plugin for Jellyfin and Plex, so if you do have media on there, you can stream it off there and stream it directly to your CLI. So that's pretty much the premise of the tool. So we currently have a plugin API, and it's currently very basic, but it hopefully will get to a point where we have a lot more features where you're able to do a lot more manipulation on the mov-cli. But yeah, this tutorial is going to be very simple. It's just going to be going through the basics of creating a plugin, and we're going to be creating a plugin that is going to grab a couple of videos from a folder that we will have in like a certain place. It's going to have a bunch of videos from my previous YouTube channels, probably the Golden Pro channel, and we are going to use those videos to stream on the mov-cli. What you should do, you should get clone this repository. I'm just gonna cd into my projects folder. I'm gonna get clone this repository. Oh, another thing you can also do is on GitHub actually create a template of this. You can click on creating your repository, and you can literally create a copy of that plugin on your account. That's also another way of doing it, but I'm gonna do it this way. When you do it this way, make sure you remove the remote. Make sure you change the remote to be your URL. But in this video, we're not gonna be publishing repositories to GitHub. I'm just gonna be simply showing you the basics of how to create a mov-cli plugin. And maybe in later videos, I'm gonna show you how to like publish it, how to distribute it, and so on. And also another note as well. In this video, we're going to be using mov-cli version 4.4. As of right now, only the alpha has been released for the latest for mov-cli version 4.4, and that's going to be the alpha I'm going to be using in this video. But when this video is released, hopefully we should have 4.4 out already. I'm going to get clone this repository, but I'm going to rename it, and I'm going to call my plugin. I can actually name it whatever I want. I'm going to call it Goldy plugin. That's going to be the name of my repository, and we're gonna cd into Goldy plugin, but we actually don't need to cd. We could actually just go over to VS Code now, and we can just open that folder. So we now have that plugin opened, and one thing that I'm gonna say first, if you are publishing this repository onto GitHub, a neat thing you can do in VS Code is go to your source control and go to remote, and then press remove, and make sure you remove the remote that's here. So that's a really quick thing you can do. But if you're not publishing to GitHub, don't worry about that. You don't have to do any of what I just did right there. So the first thing you're going to want to do with your plugin is rename it. So as you might have seen, I named my plugin Goldy plugin. That's going to be the name of my plugin. So what you want to do is start renaming it. So the first thing you should rename is going to be the package folder right here. So it might not be consistent on my terms, and I'm really sorry for that. Essentially is going to be what we type inside of the mov-cli config. So if I just go to the config real quick, if I go to my plugins, I might have to blur things here, but say if we add a plugin here, that plugin name is going to be whatever we name this folder here. However, there's something else I'm going to tell you in just a few seconds, but let's rename this to our plugin name, so Goldy-plugin, right? This is not going to work. So the dashes, you are not allowed to have dashes in Python modules. You have to change dashes to underscores. So Goldy_plugin. And then now we're gonna have to do some renaming inside of the pyproject.toml. So inside of here, we got a bunch of things we should rename. So this is gonna be the name of the package. So this is gonna be the name of our plugin when we use pip to install. And when we type pip install and the plugin name, this is gonna be what we enter there. So this is going to be essentially the library name or the project name. So I'm going to name this Goldy-plugin, And description, you can change that if you want. I'm not going to change it. Authors, you should also change. By default, my author is here, but you should change that. And just look if there's anything else we need to change here. So the GitHub page is also what you want to change as well. If you do publish over to GitHub, I'm just going to remove them. Just remove the URLs as we don't need them. And version. So this is going to need changing. So remember we changed mov-cli underscore example here to Goldy underscore plugin. We have to also change that here as well. So this has to be Goldy underscore plugin. And the same is going to have to also be done for include down here. Make sure you change this also to your plugin name, but you named the package or module. I'm very sorry again for being inconsistent in the terms, but it's actually a module name. I'm going to be mixing them up a lot, so sorry for that. But that should be everything that should be named here. But we also got some more things. So in init.py inside of here, you want to rename the package name. So the package name is basically going to be the PyPI name. So the PyPI package name. So you know when you do pip install and you type the package name, that is what you're gonna be. This is what you're gonna be entering. However, we want to be changing this to Goldy-plugin because that's gonna be the name of my PyPI package once I publish it. And the reason why you have to enter your package name here is because of the auto update that we have in mov-cli. So when you type mov-cli, it actually checks to see if your plugins are up to date and if mov-cli itself is also up to date, and it uses the package name key here to determine that. So if you do this incorrect, it's just not going to be able to check the update package is up to date, and it's just going to cancel out on the check. So make sure you do have that there if you do want mov-cli to check if your package is up to date and to notify your users for any updates. So once again, I'm using mov-cli version 4.4. So a lot of things are going to be different here. If you use 4.3, there's going to be a lot of differences, and this tutorial might not actually be valid as well. So make sure you are using the latest. Well, right now 4.4 isn't the latest version, as I'm using the alpha. I'm using alpha 5 of 4.4, which has been released but isn't released as a stable version. If you do encounter this tutorial like quite early, we still might be on 4.3, so make sure you update to the alpha version of mov-cli, which is going to be 4.4. So if I just real quick go to mov-cli, so this is going to be the version I'm using in this tutorial. It's going to be 4.4 alpha 5-1. That's the version I'm going to be using. So if the video does release and stable version is still 4.3, make sure you have this version installed. This is going to be what I'm going to be using. And the reason why I'm doing the bleeding edge version of mov-cli is because we have done a lot of changes in the backend. So if I was to release a 4.3 video, then a lot of things would have changed, and then the tutorial wouldn't have been valid anymore. So let's get right to plugin development. Let's stop yapping now. So this is our plugin now, and we should be able to install it. I'm going to give you just a quick rundown of what everything here is. So this is our module. This is where the plugin is actually stored. Our init.py file is where we specify to mov-cli what this plugin is and what it's about essentially. So it tells mov-cli, for example, like what configuration. So what plugin hook version is using. Version 4 is the latest right now. And we obviously tell it just as I told you guys before. It tells mov-cli the package name, so it's able to check for updates. And then here we have a dictionary of scrapers. This is where we're going to be exposing to mov-cli our scraper class that is going to be ran when we run when we specify what scraper we want to use. So we have also get attributes. This is a normal get thing, get ignore. If you know get, you would have already know what those things are, but these aren't necessary for mov-cli plugins. And then we have the make file, which is what I'm gonna get to in a minute. If you are on Linux, this is a very useful file to use. It also works on Windows as well. But yeah, this is a very useful file, and I'll get to why when we actually get to the installing part of the plugin. And then we obviously got the python.toml. Every Python project has a python.toml file. Well, most Python projects these days, it's basically a modernized version of setup.py, and yeah, mov-cli uses it as well. And one thing I'm going to change here actually is the required version, because we are using some things we're going to be using some code that is not present in mov-cli version 4.3, but it is present in 4.4. So we're going to change this to 4.4 because, you know, it breaks 3.3, so that shouldn't be the required version anymore. And I'm going to set this to alpha 5-1. And then we have the readme. This is very self-explanatory. We all know what readmes are if you are aware with GitHub. This isn't a GitHub thing, so it's not required for mov-cli plugin. Oh, and then we have the rough.toml. This is to do with rough. This is not required as well. It's just that we use it for like linting and making sure that the code is in a correct format. You guys don't need to use this. I might also do another video where I do a very stripped down kind of version of this tutorial, so I'm not kind of like yapping a lot and kind of explain what everything is, but I just get right to it and I just create a very stripped down plugin. I might do another video like that. Make sure you comment below and ask me if you want anything like that. But yeah, let's get straight to plugin development now. I answered that twice. But yeah, this is the scraper.py class. This is the class, this is the file that contains the class. However, this can be named literally whatever you want. It doesn't matter. It just needs to be imported as that in the underscore init file. It's just about our conventions to name it scraper.py, but again, name it whatever the hell you want. So one thing, so this is the class that I was talking about. This is the scraper class that gets exposed to mov-cli, and inside of here we have different functions. So you have the search function. This function gets called when mov-cli is trying to search for something on your scraper, and what you do in this function is that you have to return iterable of metadata to mov-cli. That metadata will be displayed in FCF to the user. The user will select what media they want to play, so they will select the metadata, and then that will be returned back to you in the script function. However, I'll explain the script function later. For now, what we're gonna do is, this might sound crazy, but we're gonna delete this class, and I'll tell you why probably towards the end of the video. So we're gonna delete that class. I'm gonna create a new class, and you can name the class whatever the hell you want. There's no limit. We're gonna name it, well, of course it is a limit, but you're able to name it whatever the hell Python lets you name it, and you'll still be fine. That's what I meant. So we're gonna name this class Goldy. I don't know, Goldy plugin or Goldy scraper, and that's gonna be inheriting off of scraper. So you can see that scraper is imported here from mov-cli.scraper. And we're gonna just colon, and then we're gonna do def underscore underscore init. I'm gonna press enter here. That's gonna autofill for us the arguments, what the parameters that are required for the plugin. A few things can change here also. Instead of doing you know, this line and then none, we can actually just surround this with optional, which basically also means the same thing. So I'm just gonna do that. Little tweaks you can change here. So now what we want to do, so we are gonna make our plugin return search results. So right now this is actually gonna error out. I'm gonna show you how it's gonna error out. So now we are gonna install the plugin that we just made. However, again, we haven't implemented anything, so it's gonna error out, but I just want to show you guys the error that we get when we don't specify the methods. So if you're on Linux, you can use make to install the plugin, and this is the command we use. So make install. So this is one command you can use to install the plugin. However, there's another command called make install editable. Now the difference between normal installation and editable installation is quite massive. So normal installation just installs the plugin and then that's it. We use the plugin, and even if you edit the source code here, it won't change the plugin. It's like making a copy of the plugin and then publishing that into our environment, right? And it just stays there, right? It just works. Install editable is going to install our plugin, but it's going to symlink the code that we have here, the source code that we have here, to the plugin, meaning that we can do live development edits to the code without having to reinstall the plugin constantly. So say if you want to make a little change, like we fix a bug, right? We forgot like a semicolon somewhere, even though semicolons don't exist in Python. But yeah, let's say that was the case, right? We add the semicolon, we run mov-cli, and it's right away up to date because it creates a symlink instead of creating a copy. So basically it just makes development a lot more easier So I 100% recommend editable mode. So we're gonna use install editable, and this is actually not gonna work for me. It's gonna give me a pip error. It's gonna give me the externally managed environment error. Now that's because it's trying to use my system's pip, and we are not allowed to use our system's pip in Python in Linux. So we are gonna use the environment variable here called pip. It's actually supposed to be uppercase pip, but it used to be lowercase, so we're gonna change this to uppercase. So now we just do uppercase pip, and then we have to type the pip command that we want to do. So I'm gonna use my I'm gonna use Python 3.8 pip here. By the way, this is just all like on Linux, what I like to do is, instead of using like something like poetry or pipx for development, I install like another version of Python. So right now I use Python 3.8 for development, and I install pip for that, and then I just have pip as a different command. So right now I just have it as like pip 3.8, which leads to pip for Python 3.8. So I use a different Python version for development. It makes things a lot more easier. And also, if you don't have make, so if you're on Windows or you're on Linux but you just don't have make, you can actually just go to the make file here and then find the install editable command here, and literally just copy that to your terminal. But make sure you remove the environment variable here, so just paste that with whatever pip you have. Like I just put pip there, and that's gonna work as well. We now have a plugin installed here as Goldy-plugin. So what we want to do is go to our terminal, and we want to type mov-cli-e, and then go over to our config here, go over to the mov-cli.plugin section, and we want to add a new plugin. So I'm going to name this like Goldy plugin. You can name it literally whatever you want. I'm going to name it Goldy actually. Wait, that's not going to work because I actually have another plugin named Goldy. So I'm going to name this like Goldy plugin here. And we're gonna add Goldy plugin. So the correct way of doing it is actually doing underscore, because this is meant to be the package, the module name, and our module name is Goldy underscore Python underscore plugin, right? So in here you want to type Goldy underscore plugin. However, you can also do dash as well. Dash works, and that's because mov-cli converts dashes to underscores. But yeah, the actual like original way of doing it is with underscore. So just save that, and now it should be in mov-cli. Now if I do mov-cli-lp, it should come up. But it would have worked if we didn't miss those methods that I told you. Like, you remember I said that there's a couple of methods we need to implement here, but if we don't, we're gonna get an error. Actually, wait, no, that's actually not the error. I actually got a different error here, and that's because this is automatically got imported, which is really odd. So that was not meant to automatically be imported, but let's remove that. Basically, it says about scraper option doesn't exist, and yeah, it is true, it doesn't exist. And yeah, it got imported here. It's meant to be imported under type checking, but that's not something you're supposed to worry about. It's because I typed the class, and I think VS Code automatically imported it. So yeah, just make sure you remove that from line 16, and I think now it should work. Oh, another thing, so remember we changed the name of our class here, so you actually got to go to init.py and also change the name of the class here. So change from example to Goldy scraper, and then we've also got to export that with all as well, because we actually use the asterisk. So there we go. So now we have Goldy scraper here. So make sure to change your name here, and as well as in underscore all underscore. So let's try running that again. And like I said, you know, you can change things, right, and it will just be updated right away. Anyways, our plugin should come up here now. As you can see, my plugin is at the bottom here. It's called Goldy underscore plugin, and you can see the version, and you can also see the namespace of the plugin. So the namespace is important because that's what we are going to be using to actually get the plugin. So let's actually try and use the plugin. It's going to error out, but let's do -s Goldy plugin, and let's type something like, I don't know, ABC or something. We get an error. So this is actually the error we're supposed to get here. So we get an error here, type error, can't initially abstract class Goldy scraper with abstract methods scrape and search. So essentially it's telling us that we need to specify method scrape and search inside of this class, or else it's not gonna work, because this is the abstract class. So what we want to do here, I'm going to type def, and we're going to do search first, and when I press enter, it's going to autocomplete. So these are the methods that come with search. It returns iterable of metadata. So instead of this method, we have to search for the media, and then we have to return iterables of metadata. So we can either return a list of metadata, so we can literally have a list there, and we can do abc append, and we can append the metadata. I'll show you like in a minute. I just have to create the folder of where the video is actually going to be stored. So first thing we're going to do to create this with this video plugin that's going to play a couple of videos is we are going to create a folder here inside of our plugin. So create a new folder, and we're going to name this folder videos. You can name it whatever the hell you want, but I'm going to name it videos. And inside of here, we're going to have a bunch of videos. So let me just go grab a bunch of videos from my YouTube channels, and I'll be right back. Okay, so we are back. We have a couple of videos here now that we are going to grab from this plugin. So in the search method, we have to get these videos, and we have to return them to mov-cli as metadata. So first of all, let's try and find this videos folder. So we have to be able to find this from the plugin. So let's do videos path. So this is going to be path to the video, and we are going to use a library in Python called pathlib. So from pathlib import path. So the object that allows us to create paths very nicely in Python. I really do like it. There's actually a variable that's exposed in Python files called __file__. We're going to set that as the path, and we're going to do parent. So what this is going to do is it's going to get the directory to this file here, which is the scraper.py file here, and then we're going to get the parent directory, right? So now what we want to do, we actually want to get the parent of that parent. So the parent of that parent is going to be this directory here, which contains the videos folder. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do join path here, and then we're going to type videos. That's gonna get this folder here, and now we should have the path to that folder. So this should be the videos path. I actually figured out what would be better. What would be better is actually having a folder inside of the plugin itself. So my bad. No, don't have it in the repository. Have it inside of the plugin. That's a mistake that I made. So we're gonna have the videos folder inside of the plugin, and then we don't have to do parent. Just do parent, and then we should be able to join to the videos path there. So this should be the videos path. So now what we're gonna do, we are gonna loop through each video inside of this, or well, each file inside of this videos folder. So we're gonna do for file, and we could do for path as well, but let's just do for file and self.videos path. Well, actually, let me change this to video. So for video and self.paths videos path, I'm gonna do iter dia. I'm then gonna do if query dot lower, and I'm gonna tell you what all this stuff means in a second. Video dot name. Well, actually, I'm gonna miss out a few things here on purpose and just show you guys what actually happens if you do miss that stuff out. So we're gonna do if query in video dot name dot name query dot name. And inside of here, we are gonna use a keyword called yield, and I'm gonna explain to you what that means in a second. But for now, I'm not gonna use yield. I'm gonna just create a list. It's gonna be an empty list. I'm gonna do a list. I'm gonna do append metadata, and the ID of this metadata is gonna be the path of where the video is located. So that's gonna be video dot absolute, and the title is gonna be video dot name. So the path dot name, and then type is gonna be metadata dot single, or metadata type dot single. And that is actually not going to be found because I need to actually import it. So we need to import metadata, and we can import that from mov-cli. Did a type, That's an enum that gives us access to these. So the metadata type that's single, and that just tells mov-cli but this metadata here is not like a multi-part media. So for example, say you have like you have a show of like regular show or something on your media server, and you're creating a plugin for that, and you return regular show as a metadata. Regular show is obviously a show that has multiple seasons and episodes. So instead of using single, you would use something like multi. That will tell mov-cli that this has multiple episodes and seasons. So we'll just make sure that this is single, and then we're gonna return that list. So I'm gonna go through what all of this does. So in the first line, we create an empty list, and then we loop through every file that's inside of the videos folder. So every video essentially, and then we check the query. So the query is what the user gives mov-cli, and it tells mov-cli what to search. Well, it tells us what the user wants to search for. So what we do is we loop through each video, and we get the name of each video, and we check if the characters the user has given in the query is inside of the name string, right? So say for example, I was trying to search for this video, so I search, you know, your eyes are not deceiving you, so I search your, right? Because the word your is inside of the name of the file, this would return true, and we would append the metadata of that video to the list, and then that would be returned to the user. So the user would see the result, your eyes are not deceiving you. So now let's create our second method. This is going to be the scrape method. So this is where we actually get the media. So now we've searched for the media, this is where we actually get the media and return, like, you know, the URL to stream the media, or the path to the media, whatever. So we already gave our path to the video inside the metadata. So this is how we actually send this path back to mov-cli, so it's able to play in the player of our choice. So you can see that we are given a metadata, and we also given episode selector. So because we haven't specified any multi-type medias here, we are actually never going to be given an episode selector. So we can actually just underscore that, but we have to still specify this in the method or else it'll crash. But let's just underscore that because we're not going to be using that, and we are also not going to be returning a multi-type media. So let's just remove that and just specify single. So as you can see by the return type, we have to return a media class called single. We have to specify the URL to stream. So in mov-cli's case is the stream URL or the path to the file. Essentially, this, whatever is specified here, is going to be given directly to the player. Keep that in mind. URL here is going to be metadata.id, because remember, the ID is going to be the path to the video. So we're given that as a URL, and this is going to be passed to the player to play the media. And then we have to also give it the title. So title is going to be video, well, metadata, my bad, metadata.title. So it's quite consistent here. And that's pretty much all we need here for now. We don't need anything else. So now let's try and see if we actually did that correctly and our plugin doesn't blow up. So let's run just for, you know, we don't have to really run this because again we've edited our code, so it should just automatically be already edited. But I'm gonna run this again just to make sure. So this is mov-cli-s and it's really Goldy plugin, and we just have ABC just to see what comes up. So we got no search results, yeah, and that should be correct because there's no kind of video that has that name inside of it. So we're gonna search for your, which I need to type your as a command. Let's see if this works. So it actually played the video right away. I'm gonna tell you why it did that. But yeah, it did find the video. So we searched for your, and it found that there was a video named your inside the videos, and it just played it directly to mov-cli. And the reason why I played directly is because there was only one search result, so we weren't able to actually see FZF give us, you know, the different search results and what's that. But we also got an error here. I don't know where this error is coming from, but I think it's a alpha 5 bug that we need to fix. Okay, we got that error because this is like this is a thing we'll fix, so don't worry. But the ID here, we actually gave it instead of giving it a string, we actually gave it a path. So make sure you do convert this to a string because only strings are allowed in ID. So that returned a path object and it kind of messed up some utility in mov-cli and gave us that error. So let's make sure you do convert this to a string before you give it to metadata, because that will mess things up like it did right here. So that was not supposed to happen, but it was supposed to play the media. It played the media, but it was supposed to just pause like this, so it's working. And also there's one config that I actually disabled, and that is watch options. So you might have seen that my thing was acting a bit, you know, different. And let's just disable display quality. And now we should have a watch options here. So yeah, it's playing my video. So let's actually see if the FZF selection menu works. So we're gonna search for something that has we're gonna search for a word that is inside of two files. So let's search for how. So you see these two videos, how to download packages and how to install mov-cli on Windows. Let's just type how, and we should get two results. So we now have two results here. We have how to download packages in Arch Linux and how to install mov-cli on Windows. So let's select one of them, and that should play the video. So there we go. That works. So there's actually one bug here that I've actually like on purpose not showing you yet, but I'm gonna search for how again, but instead of having an uppercase how, I'm gonna do a lowercase how. Let's see if we get any results. And we got no results. So the reason the reason that's happening is because we aren't checking for lowercase characters as well. So essentially so the file name here is how, but with uppercase H, and we type lowercase h, so it wasn't able to find anything. Because when we look at our code, we check the query, right? We check if the query is inside of the name, right? But it isn't, because the name is uppercase H and we type lowercase h. So what we should do to fix this is a quick fix. You just do query.lower, and we also do query.lower for this as well. So that will lowercase all the characters every time, and then that will allow us to type uppercase character to lowercase character, and we will still get results. So now let's try that. Now if I do lowercase h, I still get results. So pretty cool. And we can also do like single letters as well, and then we'll get like a bunch of results. So I did E there, and it just shows search results of everything that has the character E inside of it. That is how our our BTech fuzzy search in here is working. So it's not obviously the best, but yeah, this is just a little example, tutorial. It's not for any advanced stuff. I just want to show you how to set up a very basic plugin inside of mov-cli. So hopefully you should be able to like make more advanced stuff soon. And also this prompt right here is just because I have image preview enabled, but you guys probably won't have this. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It works pretty much. It plays my videos. I just have the audio disabled, so I just gotta enable that, pause my music as well. So if I just enable that, make one video on this and not make another one, well, so yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't know if there's anything else that I'm missing. Again, if you type videos, again, if you type like words that only, like for example, I did Nyan, so there's only one video that had Nyan, so it just played, Nyan. So if there's only like one result, it will just play it right away. That's how the search stuff work. Yeah, again, that's pretty much the basics there, how to create a plugin. This is only like 51 lines of code. You actually don't need a bunch of this stuff. You don't need that. You don't need this and these. I will try my best to fix up the example template, so you guys don't run into the same problems I ran into there, and also update a few things like this. So, and yeah, that's pretty much it. That is how you make your own plugin in mov-cli version 4.4. Hope you liked it. If there's anything else that you want to know, make sure you ask me in the comments, like if there's any other tutorials, because this is going to be the first episode to mov-cli plugin development, and I plan to do more. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and peace out.